Yes.
Thank you, Marguerite, for the welcome. As Marguerite said, I'm the director of the University Unions, as well as the campus administrator for BaySync. And if you don't know BaySync, you're going to get to know it real well, and you should get to know it real well. It is the engagement platform that the entire campus is using to do just about anything and everything. And hopefully I'll be able to show you some things that will help you manage your organization throughout the academic year. Okay, so first and foremost, if you don't, I'm gonna move, there we go. If you don't know the address, it's very easy, myBaySync.csueSB.edu. And then when you sign in, you're going to sign in with your net ID and password. Mine is already set. You can see that in some computers, usually if you use it long enough, it'll remember. There we go. And when it comes up, you're going to get the home page, the home landing page. I'm going to go over a couple of things on the homepage for you so that you understand what's here. We've got our main notices that doesn't change too frequently. If you're familiar with the old BaySync, we had the ability to change stuff, and we still do, but there were more announcements up at the top. I kind of leave these standard based on what's most important for people to know. You have your search bar where you can search for just about anything, and it's going to bring up whatever you type up. It's going to bring up either if it's an event, organization, or news article, right? And then as you scroll down, you're going to see all of the memberships that you belong to, all of the organizations that you belong to. Now, I belong to quite a lot because again, I'm the administrator of the whole system. So sometimes I join a lot of stuff. So you can absolutely join as many as you want. We've got probably a little over 400 groups in the system by now, which is fantastic. It's student organizations, campus departments, and there's a bunch of student housing pages as well. Here you're going to see your events, the next 4 upcoming events for the groups that you are belong to. So this, as you log in, it customizes you to your specific page, to all the things that you belong to and all the things that you should see. Once you click on view more events, you will go ahead and get the screen that has more events, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Then you've got the upcoming or the latest news. You got 3 of them, and you can also go up to the news section up at the top and see that. Now, most important on this page is the campus links, right? So what we've done is put these in alphabetical order based on some relatively highly used websites on the university website, right? So found it was just easier to put these on here to help folks easily find stuff that they might be looking for, like stuff like the important dates that you might want to have. Most students need the campus forms. So I'm going to click on that to kind of show you the important campus forms that, and this right now, this is where the registrar's forms exist, right? And once you log in, you got them, or once you click on that, you got to make sure that you're logged in, and you know that by the name up here at the top, and then you can scroll down and see all of the forms that currently exist for the registrars. Never copy this link and send it to anyone, because it won't work for them. This is actually this programming behind this address that is specific to the person that's logged in here. So that's a little tool for you to know. So always make sure you're logged in, and if you ever need a form from the registrar's office, it's all located right here, right? And you can access that through BaySync. So the view that I'm looking at is called the Explorer view. Okay, so there's a couple of different views. And Explorer just means that, you know, as a regular user, you can explore the system and see everything that there is to see. The majority of people on campus will be on the Explorer view. You all are also considered managers or administrators of your sites, of your page. So when you click the dial pad up here next to your picture, and you click that, you're going to see, now you can see I've got 3 because I'm the master admin, but you'll see explore and manage, right? So if you're ever wanting to go to manage your page, you're going to click the manage button. But if you ever just want to explore the site, always stay in the explore. Now, before we go there, I'm going to go through and show you some highlights of some of the things that we have. The home page obviously will take you to the home page. Events will take you to all of the events that's currently happening throughout campus. You can see we've got a total of 338. Not bad for September, middle of September. And you can always narrow it down. You can search by keyword, let's say training, and I'll narrow it down for you. You can search by date if you wanted, by the weekend. You could even search for just online stuff. You can search by area. If I just want student organizations, I can narrow it down like that. And a cool feature, you can even search by categories. If you just want social events or diversity, you can search like that. And a cool feature is if you even just want an event, or any student just wants an event that's providing free food or other free items or credit even, you can search under those parameters, right? So those are your events. Organizations, which most of you have probably gone in already. This is where you can search for organizations and add them. Now I'm going to go to one of my pages right now because I want to show you what regular users will see. This is what a page will look like. And in fact, actually, I'm going to go to a different organization. I'm going to go to Associated Students because I think they do a great job on their homepage. And hopefully you all will follow suit. Now I can easily type those in, but it's up at the top. So it was, just scroll down. Okay, so this is the Associated Students website. You can see I've been a member since 2016. Here's some information, some basic information about the organization, which that is what you all control as well. If I wanted to, I can click on the contact button, and whomever they have listed for their contact, which looks like it's Christopher DeSharoon, I can put in the subject, whatever it is, and send an email. This is what users can do for you, your organizations as well, can quickly contact you all. Here is their gallery, which is one of the options that they have, and you can put as many albums as you want, up to 200 pictures in each album. You cannot tag people into the pictures yet. Hopefully that's something that's coming. Your main contact information and your forms. You can house as many forms as you want. And the cool thing is actually what we're seeing right now is what ASI has given me permission to see. And I'm going to go over this in the rosters. BaySync exists as a way to provide permissions to certain aspects of the system, certain things in your organization to certain people. And so you have the ability to control that based on how you set up each area. And I'm going to show you that as well. Here you can see their upcoming events, and you can click on that and see more events. Here are all of their officers, which for your organization, it will be here too. So anyone could at any time, if I click on Michael, I can grab his email address and email him if I wanted to. Here's the latest news that was posted for them. Any documents they want me to see or to be visible for me. And you even got a discussion board on your page that you can start a conversation for your members and people can reply to it. So one way to communicate amongst folks in your group. You can easily get to your back office as well from here by clicking Manage Organization. So there's two ways to get to your back office. Click on Manage Organization and click on the dial pad and go to Manage, okay? But before we do that, I want to show you the two other items from the homepage. You've got the news. And again, you're going to see all the news articles that have been posted that you're allowed to see based on permissions. So some of these things you might not have the ability to see because you don't have the permissions. But for the most part, most of them, you do have the opportunity to see it. And again, you can search by keyword as well. Type that in and I'll narrow it down for you. The last thing that you have is forms. Now, this is very different from the reason why there's a separate forms is when we were using the old BaySync, the registrar's office decided not to move to this. They had already been established, so they decided to keep that. So we had to think of a creative way to give students the link, which is what we posted the link on the homepage. But you're going to find a lot of other forms on the homepage here. So you can, I believe Heather went over some of the forms for you all this morning. The great thing about the forms is once you start it, you finish it, you have a copy of the form in your system. So it never, so if anyone ever claims you did not submit the form, you have the ability to go back to your documents and see the status and see it in your system. So here is my submissions, and you can see all the forms that I've submitted. In progress, received, denied, approved, right? So you can see the status of everything here. And you can even click on the I button and go and literally see what you put and even resubmit. For example, resubmit it if you wanted to in the case where it's been denied. Okay, any questions about that so far? Have any? I see the chat. I don't, okay, nothing there. Great, now let's go to your back office. Again, that's where you're going to manage things for your organization. Again, two ways to get there. You can go up to the dial pad or go straight from your organization's homepage. Okay, so let's click on, oh, actually, before I do that, real quick, let's go back to ASIs. If you want to promote your homepage, this is your homepage address up here at the top, right? So remember that. So if ASI ever wanted to share that, you can copy that link and send it out and create, encourage you to do the QR code if you wanted as well in one of those QR code generator sites. Okay, now let's go to your back office. Click on that. I'm going to click on manage. You're going to get to your back office through the action center. I'm going to type it in right here. Sometimes it may just pop up if you have very few things that you manage. In this situation, I have a lot of things that I manage. Okay, so here's every year I create a new page for all users where I communicate with everyone on campus, all the notices and stuff. You can see I've got about 2,100, close to 22,000 members in here. Your group probably has much less, but you can always see the members up there. And then you can see here whether or not your organization needs to be re-registered or if it's okay. If this doesn't show up, then that means you're fine. But clearly I've got to re-register my organization. Let's click on the hamburger menu up at the top here. And what that does is it opens up your toolbox, right? Everyone saw that? I've got the hamburger menu. I click on that and my toolbox opens up. These are all of your organization tools of everything that you have access to do in your organization. And I'm going to go through a couple of things right now that are quick and easy. One is documents. That is quick and easy. You have the ability to create documents on your organization's page. And like I showed you before where ASI had their documents, you can just create the title, make it public or put it for anyone on campus or make it for specific positions if you wanted to. So for example, these are the positions that I have that exist on my page. I can decide to just have active students, which are every student that on campus right now that are eligible to enroll in classes. They are the only ones who can see that document if I wanted to, right? You can create folders and organize them accordingly. So this is a great way for sustainability with your organizations. Oftentimes I see student organizations when they transition, they'll say, oh, it's on the Google Drive. And we know that Google is great. It's lovely, it's amazing. But if your Google is anything like my Google, it's just all over. There's so much stuff in there. So this is a great way to organize and keep things in order here. And this page transitions year after year with your officers, so it's all located on the same in the same page. That is your documents. Here is gallery, and it's quick and easy. You can easily just click create an album, name it, do a short description, create, and then you can then easily add the button to add pictures into that specific folder. And then again, you have the ability to make your albums, give permissions to your albums, make it private, make it specific by position or what have you. That is your albums. Let's go back to another quick item, which is actually is about. This is where you manage your organization. Never change your organization name unless Student Life knows it, because you've already registered under a certain organization name, and that's what it's approved for. So make sure that if you're ever looking to change your organization's name, you've had a conversation with Student Life, right? This is where you have a quick summary, and then you have the ability to provide a full description, and then you can provide your contact information just the way that ASI did, like you saw on their homepage, right? And then you could even have an external website. If you have a website that exists, you can put that in here. Now, obviously I haven't done all of this because I was trying to finish this real quick and easy. And you can put in your logo at any time and change it whenever you need to. Okay, so those are your quick things that you have, the tools that are quick and easy to explain. I'm going to go over to roster because this has a whole host of things that you can manage, right? So now my roster in this organization, actually, I upload all of the users in it. Most of your organizations do not have that, which means you will be using this button up here. You might want to invite people, right? And when you're inviting someone, it'll pop up. You put the emails in this is my personal email address, and on different lines, right? You can do it like that. Add email addresses. I'm not going to send this. And then you can actually assign them to a position if you'd like, and you send invitation, right? And those people will get it. They'll get an invite. They click on it and they'll become a member of the group. I'm not going to do that for this one, but what I will show you is those individuals will show up under pending. So you can see I've got one person here that's pending, and oftentimes what I'll do is I'll annoy people in some of my organizations. If they have yet to join, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep sending it until they join, right? So I just sent it to the ASI president so that they'll join. They're probably already a member, but who knows? I can delete the invitation if I wanted to. Don't worry about these two other items. The perspective is something that's probably not used too often, but the terms and conditions, actually, that is something I'll explain a little bit to you. If you exist as an organization that has requirements for your members, for example, if you're a fraternity or sorority and your members have specific requirements that they must agree to, you can actually develop this and manage your terms and conditions based on people joining and accepting. Right, so if that's something that you want to do, reach out to me and I'm happy to help you with that. Now, the other thing about your roster is, I'm going to go back to current so you can see all the lists. you will see next to people's names, when you're a page administrator, you're going to see these positions or these listings, right, under the positions. That's a position name that I've created, right? And you have the ability to make as many positions as you want. Think of positions as groups, you creating a way to manage the people in your roster, in your organization. For example, I'm going to create a position right now. Let's say I want to create a committee, right? Let's say I'm going to create the plus sign there, and I'm going to say this is the Weeks of Welcome Planning Committee, right? I've called that the position. I'm not going to change this. These are standard. I'm just going to leave this as a member, or you can make them an officer. And this comes if one of your positions is not listed on here for your, like a standard position, like a president, vice president, you can actually create the position and then assign them as an officer as well. In this situation, I'm just going to call them members. I can click on whether or not I want to show this person on the organization's website under the roster that we saw for ASI when I clicked on Michael's name. Whether or not the position is active in the situation it is, whether or not I want the position to receive contact from emails. So on the homepage, when someone clicks on send a message to that organization, this is where if I was to click this position, the person would get that message, right? I'm actually not going to give this position any access to my page. They won't have the ability to do anything to any management items on my page, because I just want to organize the committee. But let's say I want to give them all access. That means that they have the ability to do everything on my page. All the tools that we previously saw here, they have the ability to manage all of those. Now, I don't want to do that, but I can give them limited access, right? If I want these individuals to be able to create events, I can give them full. I also want them to be able to create forms. I can give them full access as well. Even news, I want them to do news. So I've now given them access to those 3 tools on my page, and I'm going to hit create, and it easily creates the position. She'll probably be left Weeks of Welcome Planning Committee, right? Now, I'm going to go back to the roster, because now we're going to assign someone to that position. Okay. I'm going to look up my friend Heather. And sometimes the system's a little touchy, and you have to specifically look under the first name, especially when you have so many people in here. So Heather Gardley, here she is. I'm going to click on this pencil button at the end here, and I am going to assign Heather 2 Weeks of Welcome. It is that easy to assign people. And you'll see that now Heather belongs to 2 positions or groups or whatever. She's an active staff member, and she's now Weeks of Welcome. You can put people in as many positions as you want. You can create as many positions as you want. Again, it's a way to organize your membership and give people permissions to certain things, right? So that's Heather there, in that she's the only one that I've now put in Weeks of Welcome, right? Any questions so far? I have the ability to export the roster whenever I want to, and it'll show up as an Excel sheet. Okay, so this is all I'm going to show you right now for the roster system, because I'm going to do something else, and then we're going to come back to the roster under messaging, and I'll show you that. Okay, let's go to news. We're going to create a little news article. which is really, really easy. I've created 39 articles, right? You just create the article there. I'm going to say, this is weeks of welcome next meeting. Now it asks for your title, then it asks for summary. Usually what I do is just copy this and put it on the summary, but you could actually put a real summary if you want. It's just, for me, I find it just a waste of additional questions. So that's just what I do. Now, this is the body of your email. You have a couple of formatting items up here that you have the ability to manage, but this is where you're going to put all of the information. So for example, then when you click notify all your members, it's going to send them the information, right? But before you do that, make sure that you add a picture. Always add a picture. It's one way to organize your page a little bit. In this situation, I'm gonna add just any old picture. Let's put this one of this tiger. There you go. You also have the ability to describe what's in the picture, and this is for accessibility reasons. So I would encourage you to write what this is. In this situation, I'm not going to do that. Just know that if you have accessibility needs, that that this is just a tiger in black and white. It's like a cartoonish tiger. So you have the ability to describe it there. And I'm actually going to delete this after we create it anyway. So now this is where this whole visibility comes into place. I can decide to leave it public. I can decide to just make it institution, which means that anyone who sees this has to have a net ID or a password. I can decide to make this organization, which only these 21,788 people will see, or I can make it private, right? And in this situation, I'm going to make it private for, let's see. Why is this? Oh, weeks of welcome is on there, right? And some of the other positions that I have, but you don't have the ability to turn some of these off based on that. So you can see that only these positions have the ability to see that. Okay, so no matter what I do, if I wanted to, so now I'm going to create this article, and there you go. It has now been created. I'm going to go back to news. And you can see it's been created as amongst all of my other ones. So you can always go back and edit it and delete it if you need be. Click on that. Or if you wanted to see what it looks like in the real version, click this arrow in the window and it pops up to the real news article. There you go. Each news article has the ability to have discussion on it. Love that this meeting is starting next week. Can't wait. So it's also a great way to, obviously have communication about certain news that you post. Okay, so the other thing that you have is, this is the link to this news article that you could actually copy and paste and send it to individuals. However, if I did this, none of you will see it. Because why? Someone answer me why. Let's see if you got it. Type it in the chat box. Someone's got to get it. Come on.
Pop
Nope.
quiz, folks. Pop quiz. It was at the beginning of the presentation. Yes, Scarlett. Yes.
Yes and no, because going back to this, right? When I created it, the only people that can see this is these positions that I have posted. And if you're not in this position, which none of you are for this page, you're not going to see it, right? So really, I can tell you right now, the people that exist in these positions, there are only 2 people on this particular page, all user, with any of these roles. Right now, it's me because I manage everything. And who else? Let's see if you remember. One other person. Yes, Scarlett, good job. Scarlett said Heather, and that's because I assigned Heather to weeks of welcome. Y'all remember when I did that, right? So now Heather, because she's in one of these positions, she's the only one who can see that. Okay, so I've created a news article. Great job, Scarlett. I've now created a news article, but let's say I want to send this news article out to people. Here is the link there. I'm going to copy that, and I have 2 options of sending it. The way that you all saw when I sent it to, you can click at the bottom and send it to all of the members. But when you make it just visible to certain people, the way I just did for Heather, for just the positions, you probably have to send it, not probably, you're going to have to send it via messaging as well. Now let's go over how to send a message. We're going to go back to your roster, right? And up at the top here, you got messaging. Click on that. And what the system has is this thing called relay. Relay is just a fancy word for creating an email list. Okay, so I'm going to create an email, create a relay. And most situations, what I'll do is create for active faculty, I'll include everyone, active faculty, active staff, active students. And I'll close that. How quickly this generates everyone in that category, right? But let's say I just want to send it to people on the Weeks of Welcome committee. There you go, Weeks of Welcome. One person shows up, and we all know who that is. That's Heather, right? But then you also have the ability to add specific members. Let's say you want to CC someone else. And now, obviously, my page is a little complicated because I have 21,000 people in here. You all have much less folks. That it's easy to manage. But so I've selected one other person quickly, how quickly that changes, right? So the system will is smart enough to be able to add folks very quickly for you. So you always want to put in a title or a subject here. So there's 3 steps. There is you choosing your positions through here, whichever positions that exist, the title, let's say first meeting, weeks of welcome. And then you hit generate. What it's going to do is create your relay address, which is temporary. Copy the email address. It will always tell you when it will expire. And usually it's about 24 hours for it to expire. And then what I'm going to do is go into my email account and send it from there. Okay, compose, paste. So some of you have probably seen messages that I've sent out that looks like that. So you'll see, I'll do something like, let's go to this as an example. So this is a good example of what I've sent out, the old newsletters that I used to send out. Another one is, yep, same thing. So this is a great way to, or here's a good announcement one that I've sent out, right? So you have the ability to design. This is now from another program though that I came in and entered into here and then put it in the box, put it in the email. But let's say I'm going to send this out to the committee. Click here to read this on BaySync. All right, and I always try and get people to come back to BaySync so that I get more people in the system. Copy that link, and I'm going to, there you go. Paste, okay. I'm gonna put some formatting to this, bold. Make it a little bit pretty so that I get people's attention. And then I'm gonna add a picture. I usually add a picture to my email so I get their attention that way too. Oops, split. There. I did it again. Okay. Pretend like I brought the picture in and it's here. Somehow I keep putting it in the wrong place. But anyway, and then I'm going to send this out. So now once I hit send, Heather and I will be getting, we're the two people that will get that email, and then we'll be able to click on it. Usually it's a lot prettier with the picture, but there you go. So when I click on that, I have the ability to go back to the page. So this is a good way to get people to your home page, to send out a quick message, to monitor a variety of different things on your page that way. Okay, so the other thing that you will see is, let's go back to the messaging. You can see that all of your relays that exist here, you can see when it was sent out. This will get updated relatively soon. With what I just sent out, and you can always see all the statistics. You cannot see, unfortunately, the actual message, but you can see who you sent it to. Okay, any questions about news and messaging? I don't see any so far. Okay, I'm now going to go to two big things, two major tools that you have the ability to do. One is forms. Right, and this can be an absolute training on its own, right? You have the ability to create forms in your organization's page, and forms I absolutely love. It's an ability to, it's a separate training which I'm going to be publishing the BaySync training schedule in a week. So really attend if you want to learn more and more specific stuff, especially with forms. Go to that training because there's so much you can do with forms. If you've done a Google form, you should know how to do this. You have the ability to create the form, and this is just a way to get folks in your organization to collect stuff or to fill out stuff. Maybe it's a proposal. Maybe it's you're taking attendance for your specific meetings. Be as creative as you want. I usually have a lot of different forms. Let me check chat. We are emailing directly from BaySync, or copy and pasting the link to email with our Horizon. Sorry, I missed something there. I'm all confused. Okay, you are emailing directly. You have the choice of emailing directly from BaySync if you're going to email everyone on your page. But if you're sending it to specific positions, you have to do the relay and send it from your email account. Does that make sense now? Okay, so what you have in the form section is you create your properties, when you want it active, starting and ending, whether or not you wanted to show up on the main home page, which actually I have that ability. I don't think you do. You can even create workflows for it. So for example, if you want someone in your, like maybe your exec board member who's managing the event or the program needs to be the one to approve it. You have the ability to do that. You can allow public users to submit. You can allow people to submit more than one. You can provide instructions if need be. So usually when you set this up, it'll take you to the questions that you can create, and literally questions are just, you can create questions just like that that exist on Google Forms, multiple choice, short answers, paragraph format. You can put scales in there. And the great thing is that you can create logic. If you answer A to this question, you see this page. Now, a great example of the form is exactly what you all did to register for your organization. We actually built that on the form section. So that's how forms exist. That's a perfect example of what forms look like, right? And after you create the form, then you have the ability to do the workflow. Let me see if I can go over to show you a little bit about what the workflow looks like, because it allows you to manage your submissions. It's a great tool to have. Okay. What's something that's active? Oh, we're currently accepting applications for our positions, for student assistant positions. It's active all year, but I'm going to click those three little buttons, and you can see you can always go back and edit the forms. You can archive it. You can make a copy of the form. If I shared it, I'm going to copy this link here and share it specifically with people. But again, depending on your permissions, you can share this till the cows come home, but people may not see it unless you've actually given them permissions to see it. You can export this as an Excel or PDF if you wanted. I'm actually going to go into the submissions, and this little orange button up here with the exclamation means that I have new submissions. Now, I'm not going to go into anyone's application because that's personal, but you can see that you have on the back end, you've got the ability to see everything about the main things about who it is, especially if they're logged in, the status, the date that's completed. And if I click on that, it's going to show me the position. But then when or the person's application, but okay, I'm going to click on that. Actually, you're only going to see certain parts. Yeah, so nothing is being really shown, but I can expand all and see. Now, when you approve this, it's going to move over to your approved folders. You actually have the ability to leave notes on all your forms, and then the person who submitted it will get notification. And these are my reviewers. So you can see my entire staff. I've created a review list of people who have the ability to approve this, right? So lots of great things that you can do. Again, forms, it's its own training. Happy to attend that, and you'll see all the great things that you can do. I go into it more specifically. Let's see what else I can show you here. Okay, I believe that's going to be it for forms for now, but definitely use it. There's a lot of great things you can do. Now we're going to go to the major thing that you all do, which is events. Okay. This is going to take you to your manage events section. So you can see for in the University Union, let's go over to all user. Let's go to events. You can see all of the events that I've already created. These are all on the main calendar for the holidays that are coming up, but it's very easy to create an event. You can click on create event. Hey, Heather, I'm sorry. Heather, is Coffee Club open?
It is, but it's hidden right now.
Hidden, okay. I'm gonna actually, because I can
go and hide it.
No, I'm gonna go to a regular, to a club. And if you're in here, let's just see, because otherwise they're not gonna see the questions that they have. So I'm gonna just pick a venture club. If you're in a venture club, don't worry, I'm gonna delete this event after, okay? So don't stress out. I'm gonna create events. Create an event. And it's gonna walk you through everything. So event title, test event. You're gonna choose a theme. We have no control over this. This is by the company. So in this situation, I'm gonna choose social. Most of it will be social. This is where you have the ability to describe your event. This is just a test to show for training, and really spend the time to put as much information in this as you need for your participants, right? You can provide a link to stuff if necessary. Now, this is a cool part of it. If I'm hosting this event with another organization, let's say Student Life, right, and leadership, I'm gonna click on them. I'm also going to do the University Union. There we go. What's going to be great is that if I can choose as many as possible. It's also going to show up on those organizations' homepage, right? So while this is going, once I create this, is going to show up on my home or this organization's homepage. Then you have, once you choose or other organization, it'll show up on their homepage as well. So their members will be able to see the events. I'm not going to do that because this is just a test event, but I want to show you that. Now I'm going to choose the time and place. So let's say the event is on Monday the 20th. I'm going to say it is at 12:15.
Hey, Kenrick, let's set this up as a meeting that recurs every week.
Yes.
Can you show them how they would add additional dates?
Yes, I'm going to do that. Absolutely going to do that. So it's the same day. So it's 12, actually, let's keep it for an hour, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I have the option of choosing online location where I'm going to either provide the options or and the link. You always want to provide the link here, and it's going to catch you. If you don't put a link in there, it's going to be an error. In this situation, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to show its actual location. And I do want to put a map in it. And I'm going to say it's going to be in the University Union, Bayview Room, the address. Now, the only issue with this is that the only address that Google has for the university is this address. So this is why it's so important to put up here in your name where the actual building is and the room number. So you could be in the university theater, for example. Make sure that you put the exact location, because otherwise people are going to be walking around all over the campus trying to figure out where the hell they are. But at least
Has Kenrick frozen for anyone else? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh, wait, there he is. I see him talking in the background. Kenrick, can you hear us? You're muted.
He muted. And
I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. We lost you, so we didn't hear anything you said for the last minute.
Can you still see my screen?
No, we just see you.
Okay. Technology.
we just see you.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Let me go back and do that. So I added some additional dates, and all it is you add another date. In this situation, we already did October 11th, October 18th. gonna add another date. October 25th, right?
So if I can, Kenrick, so everyone, the importance of you doing this and knowing your dates ahead of time is that up top, you can't just put, scroll back up for me, Kenrick, the first date listed. You can't just put from September 20th to October 17th. It doesn't work like that. So you have to put in every individual date. Otherwise, it's only going to show up in BaySync as an event for that very first date that you listed. And so some clubs have made that mistake when they've submitted their event request to us. So if you do have, you know, you're hosting your club meeting every week, every month, biweekly, whatever it may be, you need to go ahead and just keep adding a date, adding a date, adding a date. And that way, when I hit approve, it'll show up and go live on BaySync for all of those dates that you entered.
Yeah, because what, and you'll see when I'm done with the event, what it's gonna actually, the way that Heather just explained it, it's only gonna show up as one event, right? Versus this is gonna show up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, because 5 or 6 different events on my event list, because then you have the ability as time goes by, you can literally go into each event, update that accordingly to how, like, let's say you're changing the location for that particular event, you then have the ability to go into that specific event and change the location so everyone knows. Okay, so let's do pretend like this is a club meeting, right? Instead of a test. There we go. Okay. Now this is where you come down to make the visibility. In this situation, this club is for anyone and everyone. I'm going to make it public. But let's say I have an executive board meeting, right? And one of the positions is I only want to invite the executive board members, right? I can do invited users, and then I can specifically go in and invite those exec board members. But in this situation, actually, I'm gonna make it invited users only so you can see how that works. And I'm going to let people report their attendance. Now, now you have the ability to choose categories. Okay, this is going to be a meeting for student organization. You can choose as many categories as you want for this situation. I'm just going to click as many as, again, this goes back to students being able to choose categories when they're searching, for example, for events to narrow down what they'd like to attend, right? Select perks. Yeah, we're gonna have some free food. We're gonna be giving out pizza. So people know, I'm gonna hit click on next. Here's my settings. Anyone can RSVP or only invitees, right? In this situation, I'm going to only invite people. I'm going to click on only invitees. Now, here's the cool part. I'm going to limit this number because I know that Bayview only can see 20 people, right? And I'm going to show the remaining spots on there. I'm going to allow them to have guests, and I'm going to limit the guests to each person can only bring one guest. And it does count towards my RSVP spots. So you now have the ability to manage your overall attendance numbers based on these settings here, right? And you'll see how that works. More than likely, you're not going to choose this, whether or not you're going to allow respondents to represent their organization. Now, this is another cool thing that you have. You have the ability to create forms in this section, right? So for example, let's say I am going to provide food, but I want to know people's allergies, right? So let's say I'm going to create a drop down, add question. Oh, actually, I'm also giving out t-shirts, right? T-shirt size. Large, medium, small. That's all I got. And extra large. Right. This question is required. I can add a description to it too, and you can see it automatically.
Oh no, did he freeze again?
Yeah, I think he disconnected again.
Oh, no.
You get the idea. You can add as many questions as you want. As people RSVP, they fill this, they get this at complete. I'm going to hit next. Now on the back end, you have what's going to pop up is the questions that folks will get once they attend the event. So the system can automatically send a post-event notification, which is the post-event feedback. It's this actual page where you can develop questions for people to rate your event. Add a question. Did you like this event? Yes. No. Right? So now it's required. The system's going to automatically send this because I clicked it up here after the I take attendance. There you go. Oops. I'm not going to add another question. Delete just one question. Okay. Now I'm going to hit next. Now I'm going to put in the picture. I'm going to use whatever fancy picture I got on the screen. Let's see that I can use. Let's try these wonderful pride lips for now. Okay. Now, the one thing about this is that it reformats the picture a little bit. It makes you reformat, and sometimes it does not include all of your pictures. So be mindful of that. So for now, I'm going to only be able to crop that much of the picture. There you go. And I'm going to hit next. Now, this is where you all continue to custom fields. Every student organization will continue to custom fields. What it's going to do is pop up all of these questions, and I will fully admit it, and we apologize, and Heather will say this too, becomes a much lengthier process for you all because we have a variety of different questions that you all have to answer for Student Life to approve it, right? So I'm not going to go through each of these pages, but know that each of them has very specific questions. So here's the event type, the organization type, who's in charge of the event, what type of event it is, and how are we doing for time? I see it's 1:59.
You are all out of time, unfortunately.
Okay, so so know that you can just keep going through it. Let me go over to, I'm going to go back because I want you all to see what an organization event looks like. Let's go to events, right? So that you can actually see what it looks like. Now, I didn't actually create that event, so it's not going to show up, but I'm going to go back and delete it. So now you can see this is the homepage of an actual organization, the title, the date and time. You have the ability to go to add this to your calendar. This happens to be an online event. You can RSVP. Now, let's pretend I was just in that organization. Let's say I will be attending. I'm going to RSVP to that event, but pretend that I had created that event. You're going to get those questions automatically pop up, right? Looks like they're not hosting this with anyone else, and they've got some upcoming programs. Now, I do want to show you all how to take attendance, because that's a huge way to manage your organization. There is actually a video for that. The last thing I'm going to show you is what I want you all to see is because we're out of time, is go utilize this website, the BaySync website on our homepage, and I'll send that out for Student Life. What you're going to see here is videos, articles, quick videos on how-tos and so forth, how to invite someone to an event, how to take attendance. So a lot of good stuff is on here, and I'm going to be updating stuff even more, our past newsletters. So it's a lot of good things on this website. So make sure that you have that. The last thing I want you to do is when you're in BaySync, you go ahead and look for this organization. BaySync, just type in BaySync, portal administrators, okay? And you go ahead and join that. There's going to be a join button. Go ahead and join that, because this is the page that I send out updates to all page administrators. I give you important information about the system. It may be an update to how events are managed, or how rosters, a new tool in the roster section. So it's really important that you're part of this group so that I can provide you with information. Now, more than likely, if you don't join, I'm going to force add you in a week or so, but for now, it's good that you join. Questions? I know we ran out of time, but definitely come to one of my trainings, and email me. Give me a call if you have specific questions.
Kenrick, do you want to put your email in the chat too, just in case people want to reach out to you after? Okay.
I'm here to help, so happy to answer your questions
Yeah.
and help.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. Clearly, as you can all see, there's a lot to know and to see and to do and to learn about BaySync. And Kenrick and I work on BaySync together all day, every day. And so he's become my BaySync BFF.